New research shows a clear and concerning link between climate change and mass infertility. The research was led by biologists out of the UK, and it warns the dangers associated with a warming world could be more immediate than previously believed. Joining me with more is one of the study's leads, Thomas Price from the University of Liverpool. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
So your research worked with fruit flies that were subjected to high temperatures. In what ways were they affected?
Well, the first thing what we wanted to do is, humans have known that high temperatures damage fertility for at least a century. And in particular, males are vulnerable to that. So ovaries are kept deep inside the body, as protected as possible, whereas testicles are in a little sack hanging around the outside. And anyone who's ever been kicked in the nuts playing football will know that is a bad idea. And so we were really worried that people hadn't appreciated this when we're talking about climate change. So climate change research is focused on the temperatures that kill animals, but there's this risk that a lot of them will just go infertile at temperatures much lower than that, and then that will stop them from their populations from surviving. So we took almost 50 species of Drosophila from all over the world, a lot of ones from really high temperature desert species, low temperature from the boreal forests of places like Canada, to ones that live just about everywhere, to rainforest species. And we cooked them. We looked at the point at which they lose their fertility, and we looked at the point at which they die. And we found that almost half the species, they lose their fertility well before their lethal limits. And so that's really worrying. I mean, the biggest difference we saw was about 5 degrees. So in terms of geography, that would be the difference between spending your holiday in the south of France and spending your holiday in Glasgow.
But Thomas, can we, knowing that you worked on fruit flies, can you extrapolate this to larger animals?
Yeah, absolutely. The reason we work on fruit flies is because things that happen in fruit flies happen in humans, happen in just about everything else we care about. So these fertility losses, we know they happen in a bunch of important agricultural animals and organisms. So everything from crops like tomatoes to pigs, certainly to a lot of important fish. And these kind of fertility losses, we've already seen it in heat waves in the sea in 2011 off Australia, where whole kelp forests were wiped out and couldn't reproduce because of this kind of extreme heat temperatures. And I mean, to be honest, what's been happening in Canada over the last week looks like exactly the sort of place where we'd see these kind of effects happening. So it's really possible that a lack of fertility is going to have an even bigger impact on some of your species than the lethal effects of the heat.
Do you have a sense as to when this is going to play out in a dangerous way for our species?
I think it already is. I mean, I think, as I say, that what's happening in Canada this week is the sort of temperatures we'd see. The temperatures have been so extreme, there are some organisms that will just have been killed by that anyway. Whether it's going to be enough to wipe out species, I doubt it, because most of your species are spread over such an area, they'll find some way to avoid the heat. But as climate change continues and temperatures keep ramping and extreme heat events get stronger, it's going to get worse.
Well, Thomas Price, thank you very much. And we also appreciate the bonus of the explanation of the design flaw of the males of our species, sort of like the Death Star. Hey, thanks so much. And now we're going to head over to Anne-Marie.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.